Good morning and welcome to day 5 of our sew along. Today we'll be sewing the side seam and we'll start with that and then adding the band. The neckband, which is like a huge neckband that will finish the whole raw edges of the pattern except for the sleeves. So for the side seam, simply place your sleeves. Before I forget, if you're hemming your sleeve tomorrow, like I am, if you've chosen to not do the bands and you're doing the hemmed option, go ahead and do a memory hem of 1/2 inch today. It will help you tomorrow. So once you've done that, if you're doing a band, you don't need to do anything in preparation for tomorrow. So place your shirt right sides together, matching your underside and the side seam. And this is where we'll be enclosing one of the sides of the pockets that we basted a couple of days ago. I don't like to use too many pins. So now we're gonna be sewing the side seam using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to be doing all the steps on my serger today. I find them to go faster and easier. I went for my bands. I decided to go with the tall bands. I'm doing a tunic option. I don't know even if I mentioned this on the first or second day, but my option is a tunic option. And I'm going with the tall bands on a tunic option, so I'm going to be having the longest option possible for this pattern. So this is one side, and we're going to be repeating the same thing on the other side. Again, right sides together, match your sleeves at the beginning, at the armpit, sort of armpit, because it's lower. And then the side seam. This is a pretty easy pattern, I find, regardless of the option that you're choosing. Just so you guys have an idea, because mine is monochromatic, mono fabric. If you want to use the same fabric everywhere for everything and you want to make the longest one, I've used a 3-yard cut of fabric for this. I have like a little bit left, which would probably be enough for cuffs, for sleeves, if I didn't do a hem option. So you have an idea for a size 1x, 2x, it takes 3 yards if you were doing it the same fabric everywhere. Alright, so we have the side sleeves, the side seams done. I'm turning it inside out. Of course, give it a good press. I'll do that after I'm done, to make sure you remove, see, this little waviness here. That will go away by just pressing your shirt. Alright, so it looks like a sweater now, right? Let's see if I can zoom you out a little bit. Out, not in. So it looks like a sweater. Now we're gonna be adding the bands. Before we prep the bands, let's mark the back, center back. So I'm matching the shoulder seams, and with a pin or a clip or a fabric mark, just mark your center back and put your shirt aside for now. We're going to be working with the bands. I'm doing the tall bands like I said. So for this, my fabric is 13 inches tall, so pretty tall. Fold it in half and give it a good press. All pieces. So this is my back piece. Fold in half, wrong sides together, and do the same thing for all pieces. You'll have two pieces for the front, two very long pieces for the front, and very wide if you're doing a tall band like I am. This is how tall it's gonna be, the piece, and then when you fold it, this will be almost the final band length. So you'll have two long pieces for the front and you're gonna be pressing all three of them, and one piece for the back. So now we're gonna be creating a huge loop. So start with your two front pieces, the long ones. Two front pieces, right sides together, matching the pressing that you did, like this, the center and the sides. Sew it together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. This will be the piece that will go on your neck at the back, on the marking that we just did 1 minute ago. All right, so these are again the two fronts. So now you have, again, give it a good press. You have your front. So this will go on the front, like so. So now we need to add the back. So we'll attach the back to the raw edges here. So one will go on one side and one will go on the other side. Same way, right sides together. One side you can sew randomly. The other side, when we do it, we have to make sure that we're not twisting the loop. It has to be a loop that lays flat. Like I was saying, this is huge piece. You want to make sure that your loop is flat, not twisted, because if this was twisted like this, you can't really add it. So make sure everything stays flat. See? Now after I'm sewing it, everything lays nicely on all sides. The seams that we're making right now will be the seams that will match the bottom. Because we pressed it prior, it's just super easy to open it. Obviously this will require a little bit of pressing too. So now if you look at the seams, you have a shorter part with two seams, which goes on the back, and then two long ones. So grab your shirt and find the center back. To find the center back, It's super easy, just like the top, the bottom center back, because the top we already found. Match the side seams, and so these are my pockets upside down. Match the side seam, and this is your center back. All right, now grab your band where the with the short piece that you've sewn, which is the back, the bottom back, and find the center of that one too. And I believe these are the only markings that you need to do prior, because the rest are marked by the seams. All right, so with the right sides together, mark your center bottom band with the center bottom back that we just did. All right, pins or clips will work great for this. Now, your seam where you attached the front band with the back band, this seam, you'll match it with the bottom seam where the pocket is. That's what I was saying, you don't need to mark any of this prior because you'll be matching seams right now. Repeat on the other side. All right, the seam where the back band meets the front band and the side seam are matched right here. So now you have your band sort of added to the back. I like to put one extra pin here, not too much. It's almost 1:1 ratio, so you don't need to stretch it too much. It's just a curve that you're pinning to a straight side, so that's the only stretching required. Because the bottom is curved and the band is straight, so that's the only thing. All right, so the bottom is done. Now we're gonna go ahead, making sure nothing is twisted, very important, and find the center back. Remember when we first did the first stitch, where we looped together, where we sewed together the two front bands. So that's a seam, and that you will match again, making triple sure that nothing has twisted. You will match it with the neck, back of the neck that we marked before. And trust me, if it starts to twist, it's no fun. So you don't want to do that. All right. Now we'll be pinning all around the front and the back, and so you'll have your band pinned to the front because the back is already done. I pin it in like every 5 inches, 6, 7. It's if you're comfortable with working without a lot of pins, you don't really need. It's a matter of your level of comfort. There you go. It's a huge loop, so once you've done a little bit of it, parts of it, it's gonna get easier. Because we're sewing with a huge loop. I think for me, the loop is 30 plus 40 plus 90. It's about 120 inches, give or take, loop. So it's pretty considerable. Alright, and now I know it didn't flip either because I pinned it in place. Repeat the same thing for the other side. I like to start from the bottom. And that was my snips. Alright, so the last step of the day would be to sew your band all around once you finished pinning. And give it a very good press. I like to press my seam allowance towards the inside towards the shirt. And if you want, optionally, you can top stitch all around. I don't always do it, but it depends on how I feel. You can top stitch with your cover stitch, you can top stitch with your a zigzag stitch if you want. But again, it's optional. So once you finish all these steps, go ahead and snap a picture of your cardigan or cardigans if you've made more than one. So it's pretty much almost done. All we have left to do tomorrow is finish the sleeves. So once you post your picture, you'll have a very good idea of how it's gonna look like in the end. And post a picture in the day 5 comments of the Sew Along album. This will count as your check-in for today. And tomorrow we'll be finishing the cardigans and showing it off. I can't wait to see all your finished cocoons and butterflies. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew this, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye!